There is this story that is trending of Patrick Mbocio. I think you saw the story online on social media. This is a man who was a teacher, and in his career, he has been receiving a modest salary, which is enough to feed him and his children. Then retirement came. He's got a boom. In life, most people have never received a lot of money at once. You receive 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 per month. But one time, when you're going to retire, you're going to receive, let's say, 1.5 million. Money you have never received or touched. And this is the money that will reveal your true character. So Patrick Mbocio received such amount. You know, it's like when you have been starved for food and all of a sudden someone gives you your most favorite food. You see how you can rush to feed on that food. Now, Patrick, having received that money, it unlocked his character. There are some things, as a man, when you're broke, you don't know whether you have some character. And one of them, if you're broke, you're not aware whether you love women or not because you're limited. And you don't know whether you can drink alcohol or not because most people who are in church are either ex-addicts. They were addicts before, they went into rehabilitation, and later on, they went into church. Or there are people who are broke, very broke. They are very broke, and they are praying so that God can sympathize with them and give them money. Or it's people who are suffering from one or two things. Someone has got a certain disease, so he wants God to heal him. So those are the main people who are in church. And of course, women are the majority. You know, we find women have got husbands who they want to reform. So they go to church so that at least they can pray for their family and husband. Now, Patrick Mbocio, money unlocked his character. And you could see on TikTok, social media, he was sampling women, 1, 2, 3, and posting them on social media. So he enjoyed, and after around 3 years, the money has been exhausted, the pension that he received. And after exhausting the money, you see his latest picture or photo. The man has lost a lot of weight. And surprisingly, he has turned into church for prayers. He has become a motivational speaker. And recently I saw his sermon and his message. He was telling men to be responsible and not to follow his path. That is what happens to most men. You know, in life, there are some things nobody can teach you. You know, some things it's only money and the lessons that can teach you. Right now, Patrick has been taught after sleeping with so many women and gaining nothing. Now he has learned a lesson. So one thing as a man, if you want to succeed in life, there are two things that if you manage to keep away from them, you'll succeed so fast and live a comfortable life or a happy life. Alcohol addiction and women. You can love, of course, women, but there's an extent you reach where you cannot operate without women. There are people who cannot go for even a week without changing, without having a different woman, one or another. Every week they have a different woman, a new woman. So if you avoid that, you control yourself, then you are able to enjoy life and to avoid 99% of the problems. So Patrick reached a moment after sleeping with all those people. He reached a time his eyes were open after exhausting his money, and he realized that all these things he has been doing, they counted to nothing. Of course, they came with repercussions. He got what he wanted, and now he's a motivational speaker, and this is the person who can advise you well because he has first-hand experience. So it happens to most men, especially. There are people when they're young, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, you have never touched a lot of money. But you reach a point, you start getting a lot of money. That is the time you marry 4 women, you have 12 girlfriends, you are drinking expensive alcohol, you are spoiling your friends, sending money to every relative who exists because this is the first time you are earning that amount. But if you don't have good friends, people can advise you. There is no money which is too much for people to exhaust. Any money you have, it can be exhausted. People like Mike Tyson, Mayweather, these were people who had a lot of money, but they became broke, bankrupt. It happens. What about this person who is earning 2 million? And there's some mistakes, especially retirees, which they make deliberately without knowing the consequences. When you are in your 60s, you are never given a second chance. That money you're given as pension is supposed to last you until you die. But now, if you exhaust it within 3 years, then what next? Because you cannot seek for employment. At this time, even if you open a business, it is very hard to pick up instantly. So you will struggle. So there are many people who need advice at this stage or age. And I think we should have an organization that deals with such people. Tell them how to manage their money, especially during retirement, the pension money, because this is money that comes in cash. And you are idle, you don't have any work, and you are surrounded by women, you are surrounded by people who know that you have received the money. And 99% of people make mistakes. There is something I said in one of my videos. One of the mistakes to avoid is using that money to build your village home. You find someone has never built a house, but when receiving that pension, that is the time he goes to the village to build a 5-bedroom house that consumes 80% up to 100% of that pension. The house that is not going to generate any income. That is a wrong decision. The second one is trying to help your family members. There's someone who will come, your family member, your uncle, cousin, brother, or anybody, He knows that you receive 2 million shillings. He will come to borrow that money from you that you return with interest. Don't give him the money. Just go invest the money, even in money market fund, and get some small interest. That one is better. And during retirement, if you get such amount, go and start some business. If you have operated a business before, you can start a business that is not hectic to operate. For example, a small hardware shop or a place where you can sell electrical appliances or even drill a borehole and sell borehole water. Such businesses can help you live longer and manage your finances well. And if you are in the village, because most people normally go to the village, if you're in the village, just go there and start doing even dairy farming. That one can help you get money and keep you busy. Even farming these kienyeji vegetables, they can generate income. So the worst thing you can do is to remain idle. You don't have anything to do after retirement because most of you were waking up at 5 a.m. and finishing work at 5. So you are busy, but now you have retired. Make sure you get something to keep you busy because if you are idle, that money you have will take you, direct you into women. And one of the strangest habits or characteristics of women is that they know where money is. They can sniff, they can smell money. Because I don't know how they know that this person has got money. Even if you don't dress well, they know this person has got money. And they will come in numbers. 20 of them will come at a go. And you even get confused. Who am I going to choose? If you manage to be responsible and keep off, then you can be able to save that money you have received or earned. So Patrick should serve an example to most men, especially those ones who are getting old, who are about to retire. Even any man, even if you're young, of course, you can enjoy your money, but there's a way you can enjoy and it will never last. And once you become broke, I can tell you, you'll never have friends. You'll not even know that you have relatives. All those women who are surrounding you will disappear one by one. You remain alone. You will never have someone to borrow money from because they know you are at the bottom. So that is how life turns for anyone who doesn't make use of the opportunities that they have.